I will go through a couple of examples that will give you a clear understanding about the Flexbox CSS and how these things are working. This is the video that you ever need to understand Flexbox. I will try to go through all the Flexbox properties and see how these things works together. Let's go through a couple of examples that will give you a clear idea. To demonstrate this purpose, I have basically a blank HTML file that looks like this following, and I have an index.html and CSS and a style.css that has a basic boilerplate code that looks like this, and only have CSS for this form container that looks like this HTML page, just like this. In this example, I will show you how to make a full width form. In this first example, that will look like this. First thing is that to implement Flexbox CSS, you need to define or write display flex to the container element, and then you will be able to apply other Flexbox properties to the child elements. So in our case, this is a container div that contains a input element. This is another container div that contains another input field, and this is a text area. It's also a container div. So these three divs are a container div that has a same class called form row. So in our case, we will copy this class form row and write our CSS here. In this case, we have to only assign display flex. So now we are ready to write CSS for these child elements, for example, labels and inputs and text areas. So let's see how it looks like only with this one lines of CSS. It has this does nothing so much. So let's also target this input and text area. So in our case, form row input, we want to make full width, the available width, each of these elements. So input in this case flex 1. So 1 is a base property. So if we refresh, we will see that it takes the full available width except for this last field. So this is a text area. If I show you this HTML, so we have not write any CSS for this text area. So we also have to include it here, text area. Now if I refresh this page, it takes full width, but these are staying with each other, so we need a small space underneath each element. So form row, that means this form row, after each element we need a small space. So we can assign margin bottom, for example 1 rem or 16 pixel or whatever you want. If I refresh, now this looks like this. So this is very close to this. It has a small space after this level, so we can also make a space after this row, after this level. So this level has comes after the form row class. So form margin bottom 10 pixel, whatever you like. Let's refresh this page. So we have a so I'm sorry, not margin bottom, margin right. Now refresh the page. Well, now this looks exactly same to this one. So this is how you can make a full width form using a Flexbox CSS. This example, we will align these HTML elements side by side. It will look like this finished product. Here is the HTML for this content. So we have a basic container div called content, and then three different child div or child element, and these three has three different class names. Currently with this HTML, I don't have any CSS for this, and only using this HTML, this page looks like this the following. And to make them side by side aligned, we will write this code right now. Before we do that, we will write some basic CSS, so we get some sorts of background color and a small spacing. So in my CSS file, I will write CSS for this entire div. It has a class called content. So let's uh, create some space. Padding 60 pixel, 90 pixel from top and bottom, and 15 pixel from left and right. And let's give it a background color. Background. Let's pick a background color from, let's say, this one. Hit Control Alt C using my pixie color picker and paste it here. And okay, with this only with this CSS, now this looks like this. So I think I also need a margin here. So margin 60 pixel from top and bottom. I'm sorry, this is how it looks like. And next, let's align them side by side. So we need to flex this container element. So this is the div that we want to write this other CSS for this. So let's make it display. It's display to flex. Display, as I mentioned, you must have to write a display flex to in order to implement other flexbox properties to the child element. Otherwise, they will not work. So just by using this display flex to the main container div, it's almost aligned side by side, and we don't even have to write any other CSS for this child element. So that means you can align items uh, side by side only using display flex. So in our example, in this finished product, we will create a small space among this each element, and align also them to the center. So to create a space, we can assign flex basis. This is very similar to CSS with property. So in my example, this is main content. So I will get most of the space for this main content area. Let's quickly grab all these class names. Then I will write this CSS for this, so sidebar 1 and then sidebar 2. Now we have all this CSS class name, and then assign something 50% for this main content. The main content refers to this whole area, as you see in the so write flex basis, say 50%, and for this sidebar 1, I mean this second element or this second div, flex basis, let's say 20%, and same for the sidebar 2. So that means we have 90% width, and we have 10% remaining for space. Now if I refresh this, save this and go to my page, if I refresh this, we see that we have more space in this right side, but we want this to uh, sit on this center and share this 10% available with among these among these items. So in our case, we have to give center align this uh, child element. In this case, we can use justify content. Content, and it has a few different properties. In this case, we use space between, and if I refresh this, you can see that this space has evenly distributed among this element. So this is how you can create a space, and this and in this example we saw that this first sidebar is starts from here, even though we have this main content at first, and sidebar 1 comes the second as the second item, and sidebar 2 comes as the third item. But in the front end of the website, we want to show this second item at first before this one. So Flexbox has a property called order. So if you make this order, currently it does not have any order, so it comes as the default order. So order, if I make it order 1, then it will come first and follow the rest. So also we have to give them order as well. So we want this to come as the second element, and this one is the third element. So this is how we can change the order. In this example, I will show you how to align and create equal height three columns and align them side by side. So here is my HTML for this web page, and it looks like this. Here is the HTML for this web page that has a main container called a class called features, and I have three different child element that has a common class called feature, singular of features, and each of the child element has a unique class feature 1, 2, and 3. This is just for styling purpose, especially for backgrounds. This feature one has a different background color. This one is as well, this one. So here is the CSS for this feature one. This does only contains background colors, so you can see them and compare these columns. And for this main features div, the wrapper div, it also has a background color and margin and padding, and that is very basic stuff you already know. So with this CSS in place, my web page looks like this. And we will align them side by side like this example, and make them equal height. So to do that, we have just like in the past, we have to write display flex to the main container div, display flex. And with this in place, this will look like this. This is Flexbox's different default behavior. This first element has more content, so it takes more space, and then second one has a little than first one, so it takes a little less, and this one has very little content, so it takes the lowest space. So we want them to equal height, and as well equally 30% equal width. So in our case, this if you see that see this HTML markup, so every child element has a common class called feature. So in this case, we will write CSS for this feature class. We already have this class name here, so write flex basis 30%, so we can evenly distribute the remaining 10%. 30% means for these three items we have 3 times 30, that means we have 90% space for this feature class, and we will distribute the rest of the 10%. So if we save this and refresh this page, we will see that it now it's equally uh, the same for horizontally. So now we will place them into the center. So we have to write this is in the container div. So justify content. We want to evenly distribute the space. So space between. So if I save this and refresh this page, we will see that this 10% space has been evenly distributed. So we don't have to manually write margin for these elements. So no matter whatever the device size, this space will be automatically evenly distributed among these elements. So this is how we can make them equal width and equal height. Uh, we don't have to manually make them equal height. This is just because Flexbox's uh, child elements are default by default set to stress, so we don't have to do that. But if you want to reduce this height based on their content, you can write flex starter flex, and so this will take so if you want to change them, you have a couple of align items properties you can try. So by default it's stressed align items. This is the default value, so if we refresh we will not see any changes, but it has other properties. For example, uh, center, if we change them to center and save the changes, you will see that these are aligned vertically centered. and it has other properties, start and end. For example, start, if we use start, you will see that it's takes the required width and it starts from the top. If we use end, then it will start from this bottom, and this is how it works. But we want it to the full width, full height, I mean equal height. So it states, since this is a default item, a default, so we don't need that. But if you need anything else rather than states, then you have to assign this. So this is how you can make a full equal height column in Flexbox. Example, I will show you how to align lots of items side by side and create a space when if it needs. So I have a basic HTML for this markup. Currently, this it looks like this, and at this time, it only has the container div only has this orange background color, and the child element has this reddish color. And other than that, we don't have any other CSS on it. Let me show you the HTML skeleton. Here is the container div that has a class of gallery, though it's not a gallery, and each child element or child div has the same class called photo. Those are not photos. Anyways, currently it looks like this. If I refresh the page, this is same as this past. So we want them to align horizontally side by side, and narrow down a couple of child elements when there is less space. So as we done in the past, let me show you the basic CSS for this that creates the color and other stuff. The main container gallery has a maximum width of 1200 pixels. Just to better visualize this, and only margins and background color and padding and very basic stuff that you already know. And the each child element has a width of 150 pixel and 100 pixel height, and font size, background color, text alignment, and line height, and very basic stuff. So we will align them side by side. So first of all, we will use display flex just like we did every time. Display flex. With this one line CSS in place, if I refresh this page, we will see that it's horizontally side by side. But I made it 150 pixel width and height. These heights are okay at this time, but the width looks mm, greater than actually it is. This is just because this is stacking with each other. So we want to evenly distribute this space, this available. I mean this yellow portion after this red box. And so in this in this case, we will again use the space between, just like we did in the last example. So justify content space between. So with this CSS, it creates the available space. Even we don't know the available space. In the last example, we used flex basis 30%, but in this case, we don't know the space. Uh, so in that case, we may have a couple more. For example, we have a few more, and let's change this number to 6, for example this one 7, and so whatever the space is remaining, it will evenly distributed among the child elements. So this is how it looks like. So if I now shrink this browser window, it's not breaking down to the another line. So we want to break these items, for example 3 to 4 items in the second row when it needed, and we don't want this stacking behavior. Currently it's acting like now, so we will use flex wrap property to do that. Currently it's set to no wrap, but we want its default opposite, so wrap. So if I save this and refresh this page, and if I shrink the browser window, it now goes to another line. So if I increase the size of the window, then it's again. This is how you can implement flex wrap to wrap or no wrap when it necessary. So this will dynamically change or shift the layouts, and the child elements will go to next row when the browser is when the browser has a very a little space. So this is how it works, and you can try with other properties that I will mention in the next video and other examples. And you can also check MDN documents for more explanation. But these are the most commonly used Flexbox properties that you will need most of the time. In this example, I will show you how to create a flex into another flex. That means this is will be very similar to a nested row, and very similar to this example. So if you need to create this type of column or rows, this will be very easy to Flexbox using Flexbox instead of CSS grid set system. So here is my HTML markup for this. This is this is the main container div that has a class of row column, and this is the first element, and this is the second element. That means we have two different main child element. This one is the second element, and this one is the first element. And the second element also contains two other child elements. And this is where we will see how we can create a flex item into another flex item. So first of all, I will also want to show you the basic CSS. The main container div row column, it only contains a max width of 90 pixels for better visualization, and as well as a background color and margin and padding. This is very basic stuff. And the first div, child div. This is the first child div, and it only contains a background color and a padding. And second child element, that means this one also contains a background color and a 10 pixel padding from all four directions. And the child element, the next child element, second A and second B, this also contains a different background color. All these basic CSS, my current page looks like this, but we will turn this into this using Flexbox. As we did in the past, the main wrapper div, we have to define display to flex, and with this one line of CSS, let's see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like as we see in the past. this first column has the more content, so it takes more space, and this the second column. So this is how it looks like. This orange or yellowish type of color, it's this first it's the first column, that means the class of first, and second one is this some reddish color. So anyways, we'll make this evenly distributed, just like this example. So as we did in the first example, flex 1, so we will use this flex 1 properties to the first column and this second column. So this first one is flex flex 1. Also for the second class, it also needs the same width. So with this CSS, if I save this and refresh the page, we will see that it's evenly distributed. I mean, it is equally with equal with two columns. Now we will distribute this inner child. I mean this second A class and second B class. So currently it's takes too small space. This is just because it does not have any too much content. But we can also write a small Lorenzen text to make it more better visualize this. So just like this one, and also I will copy and paste this exact line and just cut some text. So just to differentiate it, we'll write text that it starts with differently. And if I refresh this, now it looks like this one, and we want this to look like this one. So let's this second container div here, though it's a child element in this construct, but in this case we can also display flex to another child element. That means if I set it display flex, then it will also work in this for this its own childs. For example, this one. So we want this to be top and this one to be bottom, just like this one. So Flexbox has two different direction. It's called Flexbox is called one dimension layout system. So by default it's set to a row, but we want this two direction to be a column. That means this A and B, or this black and this blue box, it's distributed based on equally depending on the row or horizontal direction, but we want them to distribute this space in opposite way. That means in the flex direction should be column. So if I go to this second class, so flex direction, so, and if I save this, this will change its direction. So instead of this row, we set this to column. So now we see that it does not takes the available height. So if we want to make them just like this one, so we also need to specify flex one as we did here. So if I set its value to flex one, if I just copy and paste this for this second B, then this will be equally distributed. So this is how you can make a nested row or nested column using Flexbox very easily. Uh, if you take a look at this CSS, see that we only specified a display flex to the main container, and then child specified the child element, how much it space should take, and again we specified the display flex to the second element, and flex one to its child elements. How easy this is. So this is how you can make nested rows and columns and align your items exactly the way you want. I will show you a couple more examples in my blog post. This video is a part of my blog post. So if you want to see more examples and explanations and find this code, you will get all these links, and even I will include a Git repository where you find this exact page and also the code and other explanation to this blog post, and I will gradually update this post once I found any other good examples and anything that is valuable to understand better understand the Flexbox system. So one last thing I want to point out until this point, and before introducing any new examples, as much this video, whatever examples you have seen, this is I was inspired by Brad Schiff, and probably 6 years ago, I saw his video that is still I am very impressed and found very helpful, and this is still alive. And this is still updated and works on all types of browsers mostly. In this example, I will show you how to create a header navigation menu using Flexbox. Currently, I have a basic HTML for this header navigation. Let me show you. Here is the header tag, and it contains the logo, another div called the class of logo, and another nav element that contains all these links. So I also have a few lines of CSS only for this full this main container, that is flex header. It has only has a background color and a 15 pixel padding in all four directions. So with this HTML and these two lines of CSS, my web page looks like just like this. So I use the small icon as the logo. This is an example. Anyways, we'll make it horizontally navigation menu, and this logo will be on the left side. So if we want to use the flag box, so as we did in the all the last examples, we have to assign flex display flex to this main element. So this flex header, this is the class. So display flex with this one line of CSS. Let's see how it looks like. So it just sets them side by side, anyways, and next we will remove the bullet points, and before that we want them also to align them in a single row. So nav, here is the nav, and we can also copy this class and paste it here, and nav target this nav element, and also this ul here. So we can also display it to flex display flex. So this will also align them in a single row, just like this. So and to remove the bullet points, I think you already know that. So for the list item, that means li, just list item to none and save the page. No, sorry, list item, no, list is style, and we missed the dot before this last name. So if I refresh this, we see that this bullet points has gone. Now we need a little space and made them vertically centered. If you see this logo and it starts from the bottom of this logo. So, but we want them to vertically centered. So for this main item, so align I, items center. So if I refresh this, you will see that it's vertically centered, this logo and this navigation menus. So now we will create some space. So we want this space by targeting this element. So if I made other install for these links, so especially for hover, then it will also apply. So like this. So let's say create some padding on the top. I think 15 pixel and top and bottom 15 pixel, and from the left and right 30 pixel. So this will okay. I think that's now if you want to remove this underline, just use decoration direction decoration to none and save the changes and refresh the page. You will see that it looks like this. This is nothing else with Flexbox. This is other normal CSS. However, I am going to show you how you can complete this. If you want to make some hover effect, so just copy this tag and hover. Let's say you want to show a background color of for example this color. I'm going to hit I have installed this pixie. You can search and install on your computer. It's very lightweight, probably 1 or 2 kilobyte, and after activating, just hit Control Alt and C. So you will wherever you put your mouse, you will copy this color code and just paste it here. And if I save this color and refresh this page, and if I hover, then we will see. Let's grab some more dark color. For example, this color. Just copy this one and just do with this. And if I hover over the links, this color has been changed. Also, if we also want to change this text color, because this is not clearly visible, so you may need to also change this text color on hovering. So for this white color, this is the code, and however this color has been changed. So pretty much that's it. It's not responsive, but you can write other css to make it responsive, and I have another blog post that I will link to it, so you can make a responsive navigation. So this is how you can make a header navigation menu with logo, and using Flexbox. This will work well on desktop or any large screen size. One more last thing, if you want to make this logo clickable, that we generally do. If we click this navigation menu that generally goes to home page. So create an anchor tag, and this will be your website homepage link, and cut and paste this logo here and save the changes. And if I refresh the page, now this is clickable. So this is how we can make a navigation horizontal navigation menu using Flexbox.